Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Venetian Las Vegas where I'm going to the Cut Steakhouse by Wolfgang Puck. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. Alright everyone, and here we are seated at Cut by Wolfgang Puck, a beautiful restaurant with intimate lighting up front and a much more well-lit dining room out back. High energy in the front, much more elegant dining in the back room. A very nice dichotomy here at Cut. Good crowd, feels great, nice vibes in here. Now regardless of the vibes, you know it's all about the food for me, so let's take a look at what they have to eat on the menu. Several menus here at Wolfgang Puck's Cut. Let's start with the beverage menu. Taking a look inside here. Feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a look for your favorite drinks. We have some champagnes and sparkling wines here, as well as your white wines and rosé here. On the other page, we have your reds, your Pinots, your Syrahs. An additional down here. On to the next page. Oak barrel stuff here. All of your ryes. Looks good. And then here are your cocktails. Vodka cocktails. Here are your gin cocktails. And let's continue looking through. Here's the rum. And your tequila cocktails. Lots of cocktails here at Cut. And then your whiskey cocktails here also. I like that they're named things like Samurai Sword, Locked and Loaded, and Death and Taxes. And we'll continue looking down. Now we're just looking at straight up bourbon whiskey here. Again, feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a closer look at these drinks. I'm going to try and make sure that we have a good view of all of this. Here's your rye whiskey. And then your American and Canadian. Here's your single malt whiskey. And that list is continued over here. Lots of whiskey. There are your islands. And again, continued on the other side. I mean, just so many options for whiskey here. We are starting to get kind of close to the end. But here's more whiskey. Wow, just a very extensive drink list here, you guys. Here's your Japanese stuff. And then vodka. Now we're getting into all the spirits. Here's your list of gin. And then your tequilas. And more tequilas over here. Your rum. And we've got some cognac here as well. Some liqueurs. And you can also get flights here. All right, and I believe that brings us almost to the end. All right, here are your sweet wines, your fortified wines, and then your sweet fortified wines. All right, now I believe this is the last page. Here we go, beers and ales. And your non-alcoholic option down here. You have some tea, as well as your mocktails over here. Alrighty, and that is the cocktail list. Now that was a lot of drinks. Let's actually look at what they have to eat next. So, two menus here. We're starting with the raw bar. Here's sashimi and crudos. We also have hand rolls. And some crispy rice here. So that's all of your raw bar options. Alrighty, so that brings us to the main menu. Here is kind of the starters. You can see here that they have a artisanal house-made breadboard, Jidori chicken wings, Wagyu beef sliders, and beef skewers. We also have some additional options from the land. Sashimi, tartare, as well as a crispy Berkshire pork belly. That looks really good. Garden options. These are all of the appetizers. That would be salad. And then your options from the sea, all of your seafood here. A nice little selection of appetizers for cut. And then that's going to bring us to the actual steaks. We have prime beef, American Wagyu, Australian Wagyu, and Japanese Wagyu here. I suppose you can kind of think of this looking at it increasing from left to right. You have levels of marbling and flavor, I think. Oh, a Japanese Wagyu beef burger. That's going to definitely happen. All right, so here's some additional entrees. You have lobster, Dover sole, Jidori chicken, lamb chops, and a pasta dish. And then all of your sides here. Looks like your standards. Ooh, onion rings. I'm definitely in the mood for some onion rings today. Classic cream spinach. Yeah, this looks. Ooh, Kung Pao cauliflower. That sounds interesting. Yeah, this all looks really good. And then here are some additions you can add to your steaks. Blue cheese, eggs, caramelized onions, and mushrooms. A roasted bone marrow. That sounds interesting. And then sauces for your steaks as well. And that is your menu here at Cut. As I was eyeing the menu, I saw so many different options I'm looking forward to trying today. And you know how it goes in my videos. Every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. So I'm going to get a nice variety. Together we'll see what Cut is all about. Appetizers are coming up first. I'll see you in a little bit when they arrive. And welcome back, everyone. My appetizers just got here. This is looking so good. Let me give you a view. We got the crispy Jidori chicken wings, as well as the American Wagyu beef sliders, the hand-cut prime steak tartare, their crispy Berkshire pork belly, and the Maryland crab and Gulf shrimp Louis cocktail. So many good-looking appetizers here. Let's give it a try. First off, the Wagyu beef sliders. You get 3 sliders per order, served on these little toothpicks. I'm not going to say these are enormous sliders or anything, but you would not believe the aroma. Really looking forward to this one. Let's give it a go. Oh, that is very good. I actually really like this beef slider. A very pillowy, soft bun they've used here. A little bit rich from some butter flavor, but it has such a springy bounce to it. It's very fun to hold and eat. Slightly toasted in the center, providing some structure. I really like these little buns. A very nice Wagyu beef patty here. Cooked medium, you have a very nice warm pink center. Well seasoned, a nice beefy flavor, very rich beef as well. You can tell this is real Wagyu. I love the nutty sweetness that you get from the caramelized onions here. And they're using a Swiss cheese here for the burger. It actually has a nice mild flavor to it. Not too sharp and salty like a cheddar or American cheese might be. Much more subtle, but still bringing a lot of richness. It's really good. Oh, really good start to the appetizers here. I like that Wagyu burger a lot. Next up, we'll go in on the Jidori chicken wings. You get 3 Jidori chicken wings per order here. Got some micro cilantro on top, and this smells so good. The Jidori chicken. Oh, that is very tasty. This is a wonderfully fried chicken. A nice fry job to the exterior, incredibly crisp, but it's actually a very light, crisp texture. This doesn't feel too heavy. It's not ultra dense. I actually really like the breading here. This Jidori chicken is so unbelievably moist. You can see all of that moisture just glistening in the light. A very satisfying, juicy chicken meat here. Very well seasoned. You absolutely get that chicken flavor, but that's just where the flavor starts. The majority of the taste really comes from this amazing glaze on the exterior. The glaze is very sweet and spicy and very garlicky as well. A beautiful combination of flavors, accented by the freshness coming from the micro cilantro. You wouldn't think that it's a good accent flavor, but it really works well here. All of it comes together very well. It's incredibly well balanced. That is a really good chicken dish. Next up, we're going to do the crispy pork belly. Served alongside a tricolor gastrique, as well as peaches and some flowers. This is a beautiful presentation. But regardless of the looks, it's all about how it tastes, right? Let's see how this is. Oh, that is so good. I think I love everything about this appetizer. That pork belly is cooked perfectly. A nice little crisp on the exterior, but that fat has rendered into a beautiful soft gelatin. But you actually still get a nice smoky flavor as well as that pork meatiness. This is a fantastic preparation. I love this bourbon gastrique that they have down here. Adds a bit of a woodsy note to the entire dish, but a sweetness that helps balance out a lot of the rich factor from that pork. These caramelized peaches are also providing a bit of sweetness, but a lot of that sweetness has been cooked out, providing a little bit more of a texture variant. It all comes together so well. This is really good. The appetizers have been incredible so far. I'm really enjoying myself. Okie doke, next up we're gonna go in on the prime steak tartare. This is looking like a pretty classic tartare recipe here. And I do have a nice little bit here on bread. Here's the Wagyu tartare. Oh, that is really good. Now, it is a very classic recipe, but it's executed perfectly. I actually really like their bread. At first glance, I didn't actually think it was going to have too much texture, but it's actually toasted so well. Just a little bit of crisp on the outside, but still very airy in the center, allowing you to really chew through it easily. It's acting as the perfect vessel for this tartare. This prime steak is so good. A perfect mix of fat and beef here. It's very rich, and that beef is super smooth. A nice garlic creaminess is bringing a lot of flavor here, and just a little bit of kick and spice coming from that mustard. It's perfectly seasoned, just a little bit of bite coming from those chives. Classic recipe, perfectly executed. That's a great tartare right there. All right, everyone, now the last appetizer I'm going in on today is going to be the crab and shrimp Louis cocktail. Now, this is a beautiful presentation. I can't believe you can actually see the distinct layers of avocado, as well as what looks like a panna cotta layer underneath. Very fresh herbs on top, and I have a nice mix of the ingredients on the fork here. The crab and shrimp Louis cocktail. Oh, that is so good. Now, this is one incredibly well-crafted appetizer. I love the complexity of this dish. There's so many layers and depth. Initially, you get a little bit of heat, just a bit of kick from this horseradish cream. Having that slight spice on your tongue really allows you to appreciate what comes next, which is the ultra briny sweet flavor of that crab and that shrimp. It's the way you can tell how cold something is if you know how hot something can be. And that transition from that little bit of kick from that horseradish into the rest of that crab and shrimp cocktail is really amazing. You actually get a nice rich creamy avocado layer in the middle of the bite there, and then it's rounded out by the freshness of the herbs and a little bit of bite from these onions. This appetizer has a lot of depth, and the way it's crafted really lets you appreciate how delicious that seafood is. The appetizers here are all winners. It's just so good. All right, my friends, now that's all of the appetizer we're going in on today. I'm joined by a buddy of mine, so we're going to continue working on this, and then we'll go in our first round of entrees. Don't worry, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. Our first order of entrees just got here. That's looking really good. Let me give you a view. I got the A5 Kobe cheeseburger, as well as their Jadori chicken, the Dover sole, as well as the rigatoni pasta. This is all looking so good. Let's give it a try. First off, the Kobe cheeseburger. Now, the meat locker here at Cut is incredible. We have real Kobe beef, so much beautiful marbling, all of the proper certificates. They're the real deal here. And I imagine this Kobe burger is made with the trimmings of all the nice steaks that they have. And I'm really looking forward to this one. Here's the Kobe burger. Oh, that is very good. Now, I thought I really liked the bun when it came to those sliders before, but getting the full-size versions here really shows how great the buns are. Very rich, buttery flavor here, but so incredibly fluffy in the center. That bouncy texture is amplified much more when you have the bigger buns. I really like this. Now, opposed to the caramelized onions that they had with the sliders, they went with raw onion here, providing a little bit of bite, and you do get a nice little bit of natural sweetness coming from the tomato. They opted with Swiss cheese here, providing a much more mild flavor, which I think is very appropriate because the Kobe beef truly shines in this burger. You would not believe the incredibly rich, beefy flavor here. Just such a robust taste to this burger patty. It's incredibly tender, remarkably juicy, well seasoned. Tasting this Kobe burger beef feels very akin to just trying beef for the first time. You really get to remember the depth of its potential flavors. This is a delicious cheeseburger. I really like this one. Next up, we'll go in on the accompanying French fries. Let's see how these are. Oh yeah, that's good. A very nice French fry here. Very obviously made in-house. Hand-cut French fries. Some still are skin on, providing that rustic feel. And you get a beautiful starchy flavor from these potatoes. They're very well fried, a good crispy exterior, and a pillowy center. Very lightly seasoned. In general, it's just a very good French fry. Nothing wrong with that. That's a good French fry right there. Next up, the Dover sole. Now this is deboned at the table for you. And it's also served alongside a sauce. I've got a nice amount of that on it here. And this looks so good. The Dover sole. Oh, that is really good. A very nicely prepared Dover sole here. A perfect cook to this. The flesh is still firm, but still velvety soft. It's hit that perfect sweet spot. A beautiful, mild flavor to this fish. It's been seasoned well. You get some nice acidity from the lemon. It's a fantastic preparation. This sauce is so flavorful. It's a bit of a white wine reduction. You definitely get a little bit of a crisp, sharp taste to it, but it's incredibly rich, very buttery, just a hint of sweetness. It accents this Dover sole so perfectly. It really brings a lot of flavors together. My friend and I are enjoying this so much. That's a really good Dover sole right there. Okie doke, next up, the Jadori chicken. Now, I love the Jadori chicken wings from earlier in the appetizer round, and so I'm hoping the Jadori chicken entree is just as good, if not better. Let's give this a taste. Oh yeah, that's tasty. Now this is a very nice chicken dish. Pan fried, you have a beautiful crispy exterior. That skin has been fried to perfection. Such a nice airy crisp to it. The Jadori chicken meat is so wonderfully juicy. This is just some of the most juicy chicken I've had. Just filled with so much moisture, a very satisfying bite to eat. A well-seasoned chicken here also. Not a bland chicken in any sense. And you have very deep chicken jus here acting as a sauce. A very rich flavor to this chicken jus. Well fortified. It almost has a bit of a woodsy flavor to it. A very nice supporting flavor for this Jadori chicken. Served alongside mushrooms, bringing some earthiness. Served alongside some green beans, and they have a very nice texture to them. A little bit crisp. Soaked up a lot of that chicken jus as well. Just a well-crafted chicken dish. Another really good dish. I'm starting to see a theme here at Cut. All right, everyone, now the last dish I'm trying from this first round of entrees is going to be the rigatoni pasta. Now, these are handmade rigatonis in-house, served with what looks like a bolognese sauce. I've got a nice forkful here. Let's give it a try. Yeah, that's pretty good. A pretty solid rigatoni dish here. The pasta is just a little bit past al dente, but that could be because it's the last dish we're trying. I do like that it's a bit of a firmer noodle. It's not too mushy at all. There's a nice starchy flavor coming from that pasta. It's very obviously fresh. It's not that flavorless box pasta that you're often used to in a lot of places. I do like this bolognese ragu. It's very meaty, very rich, but it has a little bit more of a sweet flavor than a savory one. And I think personally I like my bolognese to be a lot more in that savory direction. A good richness coming from some cheese as well. I believe this is Parmigiano Reggiano. Nice sharp flavors from that, a good salinity. But in general, I would say while all of the other dishes have been spectacular, this is good, but not mind-blowing. If you do have some party members that are looking for a pasta dish though, this is pretty solid. All right, everyone, now that's all of the entrees we're trying for this first round. Just a couple more bites. I think we're gonna box this all up to go, and then we'll go in on a steak dinner next. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. Our steak dinner just got here. This is looking so good. Let me give you a view. So I went in on their Australian Wagyu ribeye, along with their potato puree, their cream spinach, the kung pao cauliflower, and their onion rings. Such a good looking steak dinner here. Let's give it a try. First up, Australian Wagyu ribeye. Now, as mentioned before, they showed us their meat locker, and it was insane back there. Such high quality grades of meat, all waiting to be devoured. It was when I was back there that I knew the Australian ribeye, what was calling my name, and this looks so good. The Australian Wagyu ribeye. That is delicious. Now this is a high quality cut of beef. You would not believe how tender this steak is. This is some of the softest beef I've had. It's incredibly juicy. The fat has rendered beautifully across all of the meat. A very rich flavor. Meat butter is the descriptor. It's just so good. They've developed a wonderful crust on the outside. It's been seasoned well. And when you're already starting with such a high quality product, when you execute it this excellently, it's so amazing. I asked for this steak cooked medium rare. You can see they absolutely cooked it to temperature, and you don't have any gray banding on the outside. They nailed the cook. A perfect temperature throughout. The execution is on point. The base steak is incredible. My friends, I cannot stop smiling. That steak is so good. Next up, the onion rings. Looks like tempura fried onion rings here. And everything else has just been stellar so far. I'm already looking forward to this. Here's the onion ring. Oh yes, that's really tasty. Now I absolutely love the texture on these onion rings. That has to be some of the lightest crisp I've had on an onion ring thus far. It's so satisfying and fun to bite into. Crunchy air is the descriptor for me. It's just perfection. It's also incredibly well seasoned. There's definitely some onion powder at work here, providing a little bit of an extra dimension of flavor, and the sweetness of the onion absolutely comes through in the middle of the bite. It's very good. Big fan of those onion rings. They're really good. Next up, the potato puree. A really great looking potato puree here. Let's give these a taste. Oh yes, very good. This is a really great potato puree. I love getting mashed potatoes at fancy steakhouses like this because they really take the extra steps needed to achieve this ultra velvety texture. It's so smooth, you can tell that they properly sieved this to achieve that perfect smoothness. So fun to eat. You get a really great mix of both starchy as well as the butter flavors here. A very rich potato puree, great flavors and well seasoned. A very tasty potato puree. Next up, we're doing the cream spinach. Now this came topped with an egg that was later broken and incorporated into the spinach dish. And I've got a nice forkful here. This is the Cut Classic cream spinach. Yes, very good. This is a really great cream spinach recipe. The spinach has been nicely cooked, very soft, and an incredibly creamy dish with a nice amount of richness, but not overbearing. It's not ultra heavy. It's still very spinach forward, allowing you to get a bit of that irony flavor. It's quite good. There's a bit of a woodsiness here from some nutmeg. A nice classic preparation of the spinach. Now you can tell with this egg on top, the yolk is very yellow, borderline orange. And they say that's because the chickens were fed a turmeric diet to provide a little bit more richness to that yolk. The color has definitely felt much more vibrant, and the richness of that yolk definitely adds a new dimension to the spinach. It all comes together very well. I'm certainly a fan of the cream spinach here. All right, everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from this round of entrees is going to be the Kung Pao cauliflower. Now this came highly recommended by our server. Mentioned it was a bestseller and a customer favorite. So I'm certainly looking forward to this, the Kung Pao cauliflower. Yeah, that's actually really tasty. Just another winning dish here at Wolfgang Puck. I really enjoyed this side. A nice crisp to the exterior, the batter has been lightly fried, providing some nice crunch to this dish. A fun initial bite into that. The cauliflower is also very well cooked, not mushy by any means, a bit firm but very soft on the chew, going from crunchy on the exterior to that soft cauliflower in the center. It is a satisfying texture transition. A little bit of sweetness to this Kung Pao sauce, but it also has a nice kick. I would classify this as a spicy dish, especially if you get one of these hotter peppers on your palate. But if you steer clear of any of those chilies and stick to any of the bell peppers, it provides a little bit of that sweet heat, complemented even more by the additional sweetness coming from the sauce. In general, there's a nice peppery aftertaste. I'm a fan of the cauliflower side as well. That's a good one. All right, everyone, so that's all of the food I'm trying today. I'm actually really full, so I think just a few more bites. I'm gonna pack this all up to go, and then we'll do some dessert next. Don't go anywhere, because sweets are coming up. And welcome back, everyone. It's time for some dessert. Let's take a look at what they have for sweets here on the menu. And here is the dessert menu. Let's take a look. Got some baked Alaska, banana and cream pie, strawberry shortcake, chocolate coffee fudge brownie, chocolate souffle, and the peach upside down cake. A nice looking dessert menu here at the Cut. Now I must admit, I am really full, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and activate my dessert stomach, get my order in, and for all of you at home, I'm gonna make that dessert appear right now. And here they are, everyone. The desserts just got here, and this is looking so good. Let me give you a view. We got the banana cream pie, as well as the strawberry shortcake, the chocolate coffee fudge brownie, and their chocolate souffle. This is all looking so good. Let's give it a try. First off, the chocolate souffle. Now, a souffle is incredibly technical to make. Timing has to be perfect. You can mess up a souffle so easily. Cutting into this, you can already tell they absolutely nailed the cook, and I'm really looking forward to this one. The chocolate souffle. Oh, that is so good. This souffle is incredible. This is textural perfection. Just the hint of a tiny crisp on the outer exterior leads way to the most cloudy, airy, soft souffle center. My hat's off to the pastry chef. I'm really blown away by how perfect this is. A very nice cocoa flavor here, a deep chocolate. Not too sweet though. It's actually very palatable. It's not overpowering. The desserts are already off to a great start here at the Cut. Next up, the banana cream pie. Now, the banana cream pie is delivered in a chocolate dome that's melted in front of you using a chocolate sauce. And I love this kind of a preparation. I love a little bit of a show when it comes to my desserts. In a fancy restaurant like this already looks incredible. You can see a little bit of gold foiling here on the top as well. And I have a nice little spoonful. This is the banana cream pie. Oh, that is incredible. I genuinely love every aspect about this dessert. This chocolate dome layer on the outside is a milk chocolate, and it's such a smooth chocolate flavor. A nice cocoa essence, good sweetness. It's off to such a great start. There's a cakey-like pie layer here, and the flavor of banana in that pie is so robust. That has to be some of the deepest sweet banana flavor I've had in a dessert in my entire life. A little bit of a crunchy texture to it as well, all rounded out by an incredibly smooth vanilla ice cream, a fun play on temperatures, textures, where the flavor of banana is not lost. This is such a complex and delicious dessert. This is just a non-stop hit factor, you guys. I'm really enjoying myself. This one's really good. Next up, the chocolate coffee fudge brownie. Now, they also kind of describe this as their version of a tiramisu. And I believe that's because they have an espresso-soaked biscuit on the top here of this brownie. I've got a nice assortment of all the ingredients on my spoon. I can't believe how good everything's been so far. Let's see how this holds up. Oh, it's very tasty. A very fun play on tiramisu here. The brownie has a very nice rich flavor. Not too sweet. I actually appreciate that about all the desserts so far here at Cut. A very moist brownie with a little bit of a crisp on the outside. The kind of texture I really love about brownies. This espresso-soaked ladyfinger on the top is just magic. That sweet bitterness absolutely comes through in the bite, which when paired with the chocolate flavors, actually meld together very well. They're using an espresso ice cream. It's very sweet, creamy, and does have a little bit of that bitter taste. It's all very, very good. Still finding myself to be a fan of everything here so far. That's another nice dessert right there. All right, my friends, now the last bite I'm trying here, cut by Wolfgang Puck, is gonna be their strawberry shortcake. A beautiful looking strawberry shortcake here. Sliced strawberries, a very nice looking shortcake. But those of you who watch the channel enough know that I typically don't go on this many desserts, so I'm really starting to feel full now. Let's give this last bite a shot. Oh yeah, it's tasty. A nice shortcake dessert here. It's a relatively dense cake, a nice sweetness to it. The crust actually has a very nice nutty flavor, almost earthy to a degree. A nice vanilla flavor coming from that shortcake. And you have something like a vanilla cheesecake on the top, providing some sweetness and tang. A very smooth cream cheesecake as well. I actually really like that mix. You have some nice tasting fresh strawberries here, covered in a strawberry sauce, providing a little bit more of that natural sweetness. And if you're a fan of strawberry shortcakes, I think you're really gonna like this. Yeah, I will say that's a pretty solid shortcake right there. All right, everyone, now that's gonna do it for my dinner here at Cut by Wolfgang Puck. Now, my check came out to $707. However, that's actually after they comped all of my desserts. That was very kind of them here at Wolfgang Puck. They did not have to do that, and so I'm very appreciative that they did. But again, all told, the check did come out to about $707 today before tip, and I thoroughly enjoyed my meal. As I'm looking back on my year of vlogging so far, this is easily in the top 2 restaurants I've tried out this year. I don't think I actually disliked anything. I thought every dish here was good to amazing. From the appetizer round, the pork belly was absolutely my favorite dish, although I would reorder every single one of those appetizers in a heartbeat. From the entrees, the Japanese beef burger was the best item for me. However, that Dover sole came in a very, very close second. That Australian Wagyu ribeye was incredible, and my favorite side was the cream spinach. Out of their desserts, the banana cream pie was my favorite, but all of the desserts I thought were very good. It has been a very long time since I've been to a restaurant where I thoroughly enjoyed every item this much. Cut is easily one of my favorite restaurants now on the Las Vegas Strip. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for this Saturday video where I'm continuing my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown. Coming this Tuesday, I'm going to be returning to a much more local spot here in the Valley. Make sure you come back for that one. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and I hope you enjoyed Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.